Hey coders, what's up? In this video, I'm gonna share my mock interview experience with NxtWave. Firstly, they asked me to open my resume and started with my self-introduction. In this self-introduction, I have explained everything, and I will make a dedicated video on this self-introduction, how to break down this. Thereafter, about the project explanation, they asked me to explain any project on my own, which I have mentioned in the resume. So I have explained the e-commerce website, which is Next Trends, and some questions on strengths and weakness. And coming to the technical part, they asked me started with the HTML and CSS. Where in HTML and CSS, they asked about what is HTML and the difference between HTML and HTTP, and questions on anchor tag and ordered list and unordered list and the types. And they asked me to center the button without using the div element, and asked me to design a basic login form page. I have given 4 minutes for this to finish this task, and some questions on media queries, and also difference between the HTML4 and HTML5. And coming to SQL part, they ask questions on a database and what is data, and also full form of RDBMS and what is the use of RDBMS. Next, what is key and difference between primary key and foreign key. We need to explain a brief explanation on the primary key and foreign key and how to create them. And they quickly asked me to create a table of my choice and insert values into the table. For this, we need to have a brief understanding of creating a table and inserting the table syntax. After that, they asked me about difference between delete, drop, and truncate, and also asked me about DDML and DML commands, and operations on retrieving data from a default tables. They have mentioned a few default tables in our NxtWave playground, and asked me to manipulate data using few commands like take the name of the employee who have salary more than 20,000, for example. Thereafter, in Python, they asked me about the features of Python and the difference between C and Python, and the difference between list and tuple, and what is the use of them, and how to access the dictionary. This dictionary part is very important, where we need to know how to access the keys and values of the dictionary. Where and they have dropped me a question about the palindrome. A string is palindrome or not. And also next question in the coding part, which is nth Fibonacci series. And also next question in the coding part, which is the second largest element in the array, and also factorial of number using recursion. We need to have a brief understanding on the three concepts, which is recursion and using while loop or a for loop. We need to practice each question in these three approaches, which are a while loop and using for loop and using recursion. They can ask any of them within this, and also asked me to show the transpose of the matrix using the code. They have given me this matrix and asked me to transpose it, like rows into columns and columns into rows. And coming to the JavaScript part, they asked the questions like what is the use of JavaScript and the difference between event listeners and event handlers, and the types of functions are like arrow functions, function declarations, and function expressions, and asked me to print a current date. And also in the coding part, they asked the same question which they asked in the Python, like second max element in the array using JavaScript. Coming to the React part, what is React and the difference between state and props, and the difference between class and functional components, and the lifecycle methods. and what is a React single page application, and asked me about React hooks and the types like use state and use effect, use reference, etc. And also asked the advantages of using React. Yeah, I have shared this document in the description below. Don't forget to subscribe, and also see you guys in the next video. Happy coding. Bye.